Today we're going to talk about cooling fans. On every printer there's usually a cooling fan used to control the cooling of whatever you're printing with, being PLA, ABS, or some other printing substance. So what we're going to use to actually cool it on the printer is going to be a DC brushless fan, and it's 12 volts direct current. So I'm going to outline in a moment a little bit about what our connectors are and what they're used for, and then I'm going to show you how to install the fan and then test the fan. Here we have our connectors. As you can see, this is our first connector. It's for the fan. Then we have two other connectors of similar height. These are usually used for extruders. And then we have our bed power over here. Then we have our in power for our whole board right here, which can take either 12 or 24 volts of power. And as you can see on the board, they've told you where the minus and the plus are. The minus is ground, the plus is voltage in. So each one of these is a minus, plus, and then it says plus, and then minus is apparently not written on the board, but this is the plus. So today we're going to do the fan. In order to do the fan, I'll show you in just a second how to actually plug it in, but here's the fan that we're going to use. It's the brushless 12 volt direct current fan, and then we have our power cord, which is right here, and it's got a red wire, which is voltage, and a black wire, which is ground. In order to plug it in, all we have to do is line it up, apply a little bit of thumb pressure, and there you go. In a second, I'll show you how to load the firmware and then test the fan in Pronterface. Okay, before we program it, we have to connect the USB cables. So we're going to take the big side and connect it to the board. And then we're going to take the small side and connect it to the computer, and you're going to hear a beep. Now keep in mind, as soon as this light is on, this whole area you should not touch. And in a second, I'll show you how to load the Marlin firmware. Okay, in order to load the firmware, we're going to go to the Marlin folder, which is 1.1.8. We're going to go into the Marlin subfolder. We're going to hit M on the keyboard, scroll down to Marlin.ino, and open that up. Okay, now that we're in the Marlin folder, we're going to go to the configuration.h tab. We're going to search on boards. And what we have here is the board underscore ramps underscore 14 underscore EFB. This is fine to use with the MKS Gen L board version 1 because it's the exact same configuration. So what we're going to use is EFB, which is extruder, fan, and bed. But we're only interested in the fan in this video, so I can show you how to operate it. So what we're going to do is check our connection with ports, select COM4. We're going to check the architecture. Right here it says that the board is an Arduino Mega 2560, which is fine because it's the exact same chipset and architecture. So what we're going to do is we're going to press compile and upload with the upload button and upload the firmware. Okay, as you can see, the USB is not connected to the board at the moment, neither is the power, but I've connected the power cables for the actual powering of the board. So keep in mind, as soon as it's energized with either one of these, you can't touch this area. So I'm going to connect the USB cable carefully here. Then I'm going to connect the power for the board, and in a moment in Pronterface I'll show you how the fan operates. Okay, we're in the Pronterface folder, so I'm going to click on Pronterface.exe, Now Pronterface is open, so I'm going to connect to the printer. And what I'm going to do to start the fan is type M106 P0 because it's on the lowest value. It's actually on the D8 connection on the board. There might be one lower in this configuration, but that doesn't matter. So then I'm going to type S240 and press enter. And in a moment, you'll see what happens on the fan. Okay, to turn off the fan, take the 240 away and say 0 for S0 and press enter. And as you can see, the fan went off. Now if you want to go with the speed that's midway in between, we'll say 120 and press enter. As you can see, the fan operates a little bit slower. So if you like my video, please press the like button and subscribe, and thank you for your time.